Hey everybody, it's Christine. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a new tool that I recently got. This is a gel press, and what it does is it allows you to create some different mixed media backgrounds using this jelly thing. It kind of feels like rubber. Like you could see there a minute ago, it's very flexible and it holds the moisture and the color really well. So I'm going to start playing with it this week, and I'm going to show you some of my experiments with it. Today I'm starting off using acrylic paints from Dyan Reaveley, and I am going to just do some very basic backgrounds with it. Now I'm using different shades of blue. You can go a lot more crazy than I am going. I'm really just trying to do something very coordinated and colorful all at the same time. So right now you can see it doesn't look like much of anything. I'm just putting little dots of the paint all around on it, and I opted to go with 3 colors. Now, right now, I could smash some paper down on this and come up with a really interesting background. That is not what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this a step further and get out a brayer. Now, I stumbled onto this in a store in a clearance, and I thought, I could do some really interesting scrapbooking backgrounds with this. Can also do some really interesting card backgrounds, and that was my motivation for getting it. So here you see I'm going with my brayer, and I'm going to rub it off a little bit in between each run through, but not too much because I really do want the colors all to mix together. But you can also see if I had stopped right there after the first run through, I would have had a really cool splotchy dot look going on. What I have now is just a big old mix of all these different blues. I am going to be using mixed media paper to pick up the color from this because I don't want it to warp too much. I haven't experimented a whole lot with traditional cardstock just yet because it is a new tool, but I imagine there are ways to make that work too. But today it's strictly just some mixed media paper. So all I do is I just set that right on top of it, and I'm going to rub my hands around and make sure I've smoothed over the whole thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up. And there you have it. I have this beautiful printed background that is going to be just a gorgeous card when I get to adding some stamping or something like that to it. Now I'm going to keep working with what I have on here right now. Stay with the color scheme, stay with the same medium because I don't want to clean the whole thing up for today's video. You will see me later in the week using a whole bunch of different mediums and experimenting. But what I am going to change now is a little bit of my approach to it. Now, I'm adding just a little bit of each color back on because, as you can see, the adding on that mixed media paper really did clean up a lot of that paint. Everywhere you can see where it's kind of clear there, it took all that paint right off. And so, yes, it did leave some behind, but not enough to make the whole thing come together quite yet. So by just adding on a few more splotches of each color, I'm going to just pick the whole thing up. Now I'm going to run back over it again with my brayer, and there you can see I've got some of those cool dots going again, which it's less and less as I go across it because it's got it already on the brayer. If I cleaned it really good in between each one, I could maintain that dotted look that I had originally. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a comb, like a regular hair comb, and run it through that and see what kind of a result that produces. Always looking for interesting ways to add some texture, and I thought this might just be a really cheap and fun way to add it. So I did it vertically, and now I'm doing it horizontally to create a whole different setup. It's always a good idea to just look around your house and see what kind of interesting things you can use on your paper crafting projects that might take things out of the box a little bit and also be a creative new spin on things, like a fun way to use something that you never would have thought of. I've used forks, I've used coffee filters, today I'm using a comb. There's so many ideas out there that you can try. Just look around your house a little bit. So there we have this one. It turned out really cool, especially shows up well on the left-hand side where you can see kind of the grid from the combs. So there's a couple of ideas for you. Please stay tuned to my channel for more ideas coming this week and different mediums using the gel press. I'll link you up to all the products down below. We'll see you again soon.